Hi everyone. If you are a data analyst, you have probably heard that Databricks is for data engineers and data scientists, which you might think is a place for complex Python code and Spark clusters. But let me tell you, the platform has changed. It is now a full stack data intelligence platform. I am Arpit and I have spent around 10 years working as data analyst. In this video, I am going to spend few minutes to talk about how you can use Databricks specifically as an analyst. We will cover how you can find your data using catalog, how to query that data using SQL Editor, how to build dashboards, and finally how to use Genie to talk to your data using AI. So let's first talk about the basic thing. If you're an analyst, you'd want to find out where is your data. So we use Unity Catalog in Databricks to look at your data. So this is your single source of truth. This is your catalog explorer. You can click on any of the catalogs. For instance, I am clicking on the samples catalog, and within samples catalog, I am clicking on the NYC taxi schema. And if I click on the trips table within it, it will show me what different columns and what is the data type of that column. You can also click on the sample data tab. This will give you the sample data about this table, which will help you understand the data better. And on top of that, you can also ask some of the questions using the AI assistant. Apart from this, you can also use different tabs available like lineage, which talks about in what all dashboards, genies, or other tables this particular table has been used. Think of the catalog explorer as your object explorer in SQL Server or the schema browser in Oracle. Once you have looked at your data, you would now want to query the data. To do so, you can click on the SQL Editor, click on a new query, and you can start writing your query. So let's say this is our query. Select star from samples.nyctaxi.trips. Remember the template or the format is catalog.schema.table name. You have to attach a compute and just hit run button. This is just like your any other tool, for instance SSMS or Toad. And to make things simpler, you can click on the catalog here. This way you have your schema browser on the left and your query canvas on the right. So since the query has run, you can see the details of the query. But here's the cool part. You can click on this plus icon and add a visualization right then and there. Let's say for a pickup zip, what are the different, what is the different trip distance? What is the sum of the trip distance? You can just click on save and you have this chart generated right here. In any other tool, you'd basically download the data or connect this to a BI tool and then do the ad hoc analysis. But with SQL Editor, it's very quick and intuitive. And once you have done that, you can also share this query with any of the users you'd want. You can just add their email IDs and share this. If you'd want to save the query, you can just hit on the save button and this will save the query to any of the folder you'd want. So once you have created this query, you'd want to write more queries, create a dashboard where you'd have multiple charts. So to do so, what you can do is you can click on dashboards, create a new dashboard, right? Add data. You can either browse through the tables or you can write a SQL query directly. anything works fine. So I'm copying the same query from the SQL editor. And once you have this data here, you can go to the canvas. You can quickly put up some charts you'd want. For instance, let's say I want two charts, and there's one more, let's say two. So either you can use the assistant to create a chart, or you can do it manually. So let's do it manually for this time. Let's say I would want to understand, let's say I want a counter chart, which is more like a KPI card at the very top in a usual dashboard. And let's say I want how many pickup pickup zips were there. So this is the number here. You can add a title to it. Let's say counter chart. You can give more meaningful names. And let's say in this bottom chart we would want to create a bar chart using the same thing which we did in the SQL editor. On the x-axis we want the pickup zip, right? We want it categorical, and on the x-axis we want the trip distance, sum of trip distance. So here you go. Once you click on the publish button, you can share this with the intended users. You can copy the link, add users, and share it with whoever you'd want to share this dashboard with. So this is the traditional way of building the dashboard. But let's say you've been asked to do an ad hoc analysis, or if you feel your data is very clean and you just want a chat GPT like experience. So what you can do is you can create a genie. Hit on the genie button, click on new, select your table. So I am selecting the same table, samples, NYC taxi and trips table. So this is our table. And just like that, your genie space is created. You can give it more meaningful name. So let's say NYC taxi genie, and you can start asking questions directly. So it gives you some model questions or some instructions as well. So it suggests you these are the types of questions that you can ask. So let's say what is the monthly distribution of total fare amount collected, or you can ask your own questions. So let's say total distance covered is something I would want to ask. If you hit enter, it will give us the answer, and not only with the answer, it will give us the query and a chart if you'd want. So this is the answer, 62k miles. And if you want, you can see the code as well. So this is something which is really interesting. You don't directly depend on the LLM to give you the answers, but you can validate the answer using this query which is generated. And if you want, you can ask it to generate, you can write more queries to generate a chart or ask follow-up questions. You can also give certain instructions. So let's say your fiscal year begins, let's say in April, right? You can say that my fiscal year begins in April and ends in March. So you can add different customizations. You can monitor, who all has been using this particular genie, and you can also share it with your users. So let's say you create a genie with specific instructions and you can share with that business user. So yeah, that's about the basic tools that I wanted to talk about, but I have not forgotten about the notebook. So let's talk about the Databricks notebook as well. So this is something which I generally use when I want to write some uh, detailed analysis. I have to do some detailed analysis if there are multiple blocks of SQL queries that I want to do, right? Let's say this is the first query, and let's say this is the second query. I mean, the query doesn't make sense here, but you get the gist of it, right? So you can do multiple things here. You can write your Python script as well. You just have to change the language here. And finally, let's say you have created a SQL query and you'd want it to refresh every day. So to do so, what you can do is you can go to your SQL editor, see the query what you have, and schedule is. If you So let's say this is the schedule, and if I hit create button, the schedule is generated at the you know informed time. It will run every day, and you can see this schedule here in the jobs and pipeline. So this is scheduled now, and every time it runs, it gives us detail about the run. When did it run and what is the task? Since nothing has run till now, there's no detail here. So yeah, that's your tour about Databricks. We've talked about how do you see your data using catalog, how do you write queries using SQL Editor, how to create dashboards, and how to chat with your data using AI. So do explore Databricks using the free edition, and see you in the next video. Thank you.